The Legend of Zelda series is full of memorable moments, from that initial wake-up sequence that begins your adventure, your first dungeon, clever puzzles, quirky townspeople, epic boss battles. But my personal favorite is that moment in your quest when you obtain the Master Sword. Every Zelda game seems to have their own preferred aesthetic for this triumph, and I love the variety. That goes for Zelda games in general. But there's something really special about A Link to the Past. Earning the Master Sword in this game is such an epic moment. You work your way through the maze of the Lost Woods and stumble upon this clearing with animals scattering in your presence. You can sense that this is different. You've discovered something. And there it is, literally on a pedestal, before the 3 pendants that you've had to collect appear, hovering around you. The music swells, lightning shoots off the handle, a sudden flash, the fog lifts, and the Master Sword is yours. Off to Hyrule Castle to save the day. It seems silly now, but as a kid, I thought this was pretty much the end of the game. After all, I'm heading to the castle to beat the bad guy. I had no idea how much adventure was in store for me in the dark world. It's the first Zelda game where we obtain the blade that can repel evil and slice through time itself, the Master Sword. Which is crazy to think about because it's such a staple of the series, and we didn't even get it until the 3rd game, because the sword in the first Legend of Zelda was called the Magical Sword. Yeah, it's probably intended to be the same sword in spirit, but Master Sword is a way cooler name than just putting the word magic in front of whatever the item is.
That's the magic flute!
Don't even start. And it's really cool to think about how this is the same sword that you would go on to create in Skyward Sword for all the links that would come after you. The Zelda timeline is so cool and confusing. Today we pay tribute to that very first time we got the iconic Master Sword. First things first, I want to have the title of the game at the top of the piece. Some of you may have noticed that I'm using my custom Link to the Past logo from the time we made all the Zelda titles. The original pattern would have been huge, but this will fit perfectly. I love when we can go back and combine projects like this. I'll also be including the red pendant as part of the logo, then the green pendant, and the blue pendant. And it's little pieces like this that really make me appreciate all the different shades Perler has to offer. Have fun playing around with what looks best to you. Here's a couple little flowers and grass blades, just some simple pieces to give the ground some character. Then iron away. Remember to place the pieces under some big, heavy books to keep them flat while they cool. Now the hero of time himself, complete on that ancient pedestal. And don't forget, in this game, Link had pink hair. I just can't get over it. And then of course, the Master Sword. I actually added some extra lightning effects to mine, so feel free to play around with the design. Hey, maybe even use some glow-in-the-dark beads, right? That would look awesome. Now it's time to assemble all of our work onto this 12 by 16 inch canvas I painted earlier. You can see I painted it a basic bright green, then used spray paint to add some darker greens to the bottom and a super light green at the top. I love that gradient effect. I used the logo as a placement reference before I mount Link right to the canvas. Then glue down the logo. Next are the 2 pendants, and finally our grassy accents. And we're done! Something I really like about this piece is that we didn't just do a straight screenshot. We took elements of the game, arranged them in a custom pattern, and then used my original logo to create something completely unique, just like the Master Sword itself. Which Zelda game Master Sword sequence is your favorite? Let me know in the comments and maybe we can get a whole series going. In the meantime, click the DIY link in the description to get the patterns to make your own. And I'll see you on our next adventure.